called it Tommy the Rash. We're back again. The parts have arrived that we ordered there. The headset, gaskets for the cylinder head arrived. So we can set about fitting the cylinder head now. I use this headset on my own Go Belly. It's a Stepco, finding very good quality. And the thermostat there as well, because this didn't have a thermostat and they're crucial to burning TVO. So just did a final clean up on the head. I'm just going to degrease it now and wipe it with white paper. Cleaned out all of the holes for the studs, because as we seen the back one there was a little bit sticky, so cleaned that out with the Dremel. Cleaned them all out with a Dremel and a round file, and we blew them out with an air gun. Just stops dirt coming down when you're putting down the head on the new gasket, and it gives a better chance of the gasket sealing. So we can open up the headset here. As I said, I've used this before. I do like the Bepco parts. I think they're probably the best quality we can get. So copper gasket. One side is flat for the cylinder head, and the other side is for the block. So we'll clean the hands before we go touching it. So yeah, this side here is for the block. It's embossed or sticking out a little. It's folded over, and this side is flat for the cylinder head. So that's okay. We've got a rocker cover. We've got our exhaust manifold. We got our carb and our thermostat housings and exhaust as well. So all is good there. So what I'm going to do is, I have everything of the block cleaned. It's literally ready now just to drop this on. We're going to go and fit the gasket onto the block, and we'll come back then for the head. So ready for a final degreasing, just to get any of that dirt off it there. Give everything the best chance of sealing. I do think they improved the castings by the time 35 came around, and looks like they improved them even more so when Massey came around. And this is a Massey Ferguson engine. It's not the Ferguson 35, it's a Massey Ferguson red and grey engine. They improved the casting on the side of the block where they often frost damage by strengthening the casting. You get these kind of lads there in it that seem to strengthen the side. That goes right down to the sump, and less chance then of frost damage causing. I suppose it'll still find a crack somewhere, but it does look like the casting was strengthened anyway. So just giving it a bit of a degreasing. Don't have to be too fussy, but at the same time it all helps. I did block off all of these with white paper, and I went around with the Dremel at the bottom of the studs, cleaned them all up, because sometimes you can have a little ball of rust there, and it can just stop things sealing perfect or pulling the head down properly. So we're just trying to eliminate all possible future problems that can be avoided by just a bit of taking a bit more time cleaning. That's all we're trying to do here. And then just give these a little wipe as well, just at the end. These do get a bit of dirt on them and a bit of grease on them and all of that. And may as well, just in case it would fall down in front of the head and go below the head then onto the gasket. I've often seen you lift gaskets, you can see bits of dirt and stuff and metal filings pushed into a gasket from before. So I think if you go and clean everything, including the holes in the head for these studs, you know, you greatly reduce, especially if a head has been sitting on a shelf for years or something, you go and get one second hand, it can accumulate all sorts of things, you know. So we brought the air gun up, we blew the little hole there for the oil, bringing it up to the rockers. We did all of that. I still have to wash the rocker shaft, actually it's still in the part washer, but I can do that. So that is ready for its gasket, I'm happy to say. So this side goes down and this side goes up. It does work both ways, I think, because the hole for the oil is actually on both ends, so it will work both ways. But there is a right way and a wrong way. And that's another reason why I like doing these, because when you're pushing down your gasket, then you don't have stuff falling in front of it. So there we go. So we'll bring over the head now and we'll get that fitted. The heads are getting a final degreasing, final white clean with white paper, and then after that, final blow with the air gun. Okay. Nice and easy does it. There we go. Make sure everything's looking nice and clean. Okay, and it is. Just that little second there before you drop it. It's always a good idea just to check. That's why we clean all them out. Screwdriver, degreaser wipes, whatever it needs. Okay, so our first lad is for tightening it. Oh yeah, I have to just file him out. He was over tightened and he's out getting a little bit thin, so I want to file him out. There shouldn't be any resistance in that because it'll affect the torque. So we'll just give him a quick file and we'll fit him then. Now it took a second, it's just a little pinch to stay over the ears. So it should go on easy. You shouldn't need to be pushing. I remember having an awful time trying to get that off. So we'll just put on some of the nuts. We have our die there if we need, but I went over them so they should all go on nice and easy. Remember, if it was in the earlier ones, that there was metric nut on one of these, so that wasn't ideal, but it's okay. There's only 10 of them. Right. It is important that you use the genuine washers because that's a bit tight and they do their trick. Sometimes they get a little tight just from over tightening or for whatever. So just give him a quick file. So I want the torque spanner to read this accurately. And we're missing some head washers I wasn't very happy with. So we'll go and file him and we'll get a few more. I want to use proper head washers on this and not spring washers. That head washer there is just, it's not great, it's very bent and stuff, so we're not going to use him. So I'll have a handful here from my collection there. I've collected up. So we'll be using them. I don't know if that needs one, but I'm going to put one on because it's no harm. These are in good nick, so I'll use them. Again, it just helps pull the head a little bit more level, and they're meant to be on it. No, spring washers are not meant to be on it. So there we go. So these things do get lost, I suppose, over the years, but you just have to be careful and make sure to put them away safely. Okay, so there we go, the full complement of head washers. Yeah, I collect them up already because I do like to keep them. Now I'm not going to obviously use the torque on this, I'm just going to use it just to tighten it out. It does make the torque sound, as you can see, it's not even tightening it. I'm just using it just to take up the slack. Just save time. We'll do all the rest of that by hand. I'm not a fan of these, using these on vintage, but using them just to spin things down is perfect. Just like that. Just saves a bit of time. Okay, so now we're going to go get our breaker bars, give them a little bit of a pull, and then we'll get our torque spanner. So this is a 3/8 rack, just to get a feel of these. That's all. There you can see that the Ugga Dugga gun only just, literally just brings them down, that's all. Just saves a bit of time. Pretty tight fit now, alright? Anyway, get a little bit of a feel of it, that's all. Delighted that went on nice and easy, because it was anything but easy coming off. Get a bit of a nip on it. Lovely. A bit of stretching the head studs basically is all we're doing slowly. Lovely. Okay. Lovely. That'll do. So now we can get a torque spanner and slowly start bringing this up to tension. So we're right backed off, I think. Yeah. We're locked, so let's get a screwdriver. Oh no, we're not locked. I don't think. Where are we? We are. So we'll bring it up to, well, we bring it up to nice snug. Bring it right back and we'll see where we're at, and then we will, that's 42, 4, 6, 8, 50 Newton meters. So 50 Newton meters is not crazy, so let's quickly get a screwdriver just to tighten that lock on that, and we'll come back then and just snug them up to 50 Newton meters. Okay, let's go. I like to do this in stages myself rather than just going straight up to torque spec. Bit of a nip on the lock, and we get our socket then. Okay, 11/16 socket. Start there. And I'm not even going to bring them up first, I'm just going to slowly do a bit of a half turn. Oh, there you go, that one's at 50 there. That's at 50. This one didn't even get turned down. So we'll just spin him on down quickly, because it takes too long with the socket. Missed him. Oh jeez. It's clicking and it's not even near it. What's that now? Right, let's get a feel of that. See what? Jeez, that drill makes awful racket and it hasn't even tightened things. Anyway, it's handy for just saving a bit of time, but the likes of these take a bit of spinning. Now let's do this final one there. So we're at 50 there. 50. This should be all done now. Snug 50. The first one there again is already stretched, as you can see. Oh no, I didn't get that 50. Let's test that one there. It's stretched a bit already. And that's stretched a bit. Probably doing this in the pattern now. I'm only testing it, I suppose. And that. Okay. So now we'll bring them up another bit. So we said we're at 50 Newton meters. So 52, 54, 56, 58, 60 Newton meters. Do the same, get it pulling nice and even, no rush. Okay, so we'll leave it there and we'll go another bit. I'm just going to double check the manual there for the torque for the final torque for the head, and I'll come back. Let's check there. So we're at 60, so that's all right. So taking off the lock. I'm going to bring it back to the start again and make sure, because this thing can be hard enough to read sometimes. 42. 4, 6, 8, 50, 2, 4, 6, 8, 60, 2, 4, 6, 8, 70. Okay, lock her up, same crack again. Okay, 70 Newton meters. Lovely. So that's looking good. So that's 70 Newton meters. We're going to go 75, so 72, 4 and 5. We're going to go halves. Instead of going 10, it's going to go 5 Newton meters. Lovely. Perfect. I'm not going to go any more to 80. I'm going to leave that a little while. Or do I have to? I probably have to do it now, don't I, to get the rocker shaft on. So I'll bring it up another 5, 2, 4, 5. There we go. 80 Newton meters comes in about 60 foot-pounds. Say 60 to 65. I'm just going to go the minimalistic side of things, because when we get this thing running, everything will stretch. There's my nail bar I was looking for. Everything will stretch, and a final kind of torquing can be done down the road. It's very easy to do. Get the engine up to operating temperature for a while. Okay, so that's that. If you have a torque spanner, always remember to let off the lock on it. It affects the spring otherwise. Okay, so that is all we're going to do. We're at our required torque there of 80 Newton meters. Go a little bit more than 80 on them, bring it up to the 65 foot-pounds, but I prefer personally to leave it a while, get a bit of heat into the engine down the road when it's running, and we're not going to be building this engine up a whole lot. So we're going to go now and roll up the sleeves and wash the rocker shaft in the parts washer. So I'll just set that up here. and we'll bring over the extension lead and we'll plug this baby in and we'll get her washed. Okay, rocker shaft, bath tank. Blow it out with the air gun, make sure the oil gallery is all clear of it. I think I actually did wash this before, but I'm going to wash it again. Lovely. The one difference between these and the Massey and the Ferguson 20 is these are actually alloy, not cast. The cast ones used to like cracking a lot. So alloy was a bit softer. So that's brilliant. So I'll get that wrapped up in a rag and I'll air dry it. The thing I did with that rocker shaft is just where it goes down on the head there. I just gave it a quick rub on the sanding block, because I just do not want any little burrs on that stopping it from sitting down nice and flat. You want all of that to sit nice, and just them lads there. So quick rub on the sanding block, get them all good. Trying to fit a rocker and there's no push rods. Okay, we'll get them fitted here. Okay, checked all of these for to make sure that none of them are bent. They're all good. They're all in order here, so I'm just taking them out. 3 and 4 next. 5, 6. Good to put them all in order. They wear into the cam and into the rockers. So it's good to put them back in order. And you find their little groove in there. You can really feel them kind of stick it into it a little bit. Right. Okay. Right, get these roughly lined up out of the way here. You can drop into the little cups there. That's all good. We've got spring washers all around. 1, 2, 3. And we've got our 9/16 UNF nuts. Little rub of the rag there just in case they've picked up any dirt. Right. Four of these. Lovely threads. 9/16 spanner on the way. Give them a little nip. We might go socket. Bit handier. I like to tighten these nice and handy, and some valves will be pushing open, some will be closed, so take your time with pushing open there. Number 1, so just give it a nice little even kind of a tighten, so you don't bend out the shaft. Okay. All of these can be retightened, rechecked and torqued to spec. For now, I just want to make sure all that's good, so we'll stick the start and handle in. Make sure engine's turning over nice and easy. Ready to turn the engine up with the head on. Not going to affect the liners and all of that. Alright, I did do a bit of valve clearance on these, so there should be. I think I did that. That's a bit too much valve clearance there. Might have to do it again. I have a feeling the reason why we have to do it again is some of them valves are stuck open and we're getting the wrong reading, and now they're actually not. So we'll slap on our rotor arm and just see what's happening here. Cylinder wise, while we're turning, one, 3, 4. It's mad, isn't it? You go and do your valve job and all of a sudden 3. Goes to show us how some of the valves were well off. Right, so let's go on quickly to valve clearance job. Okay, I'm going to get a short stubby screwdriver and we'll come back. Didn't record doing all the valve clearances, just the last one here. So we're on number 2 there. The points are just opening, so what we can do is we have one of these set to 10 thou. So what we do is with the 10 thou one, you do that for the intake and the float. So give them a little, loosen them off way too much, but sure, look, some of these are a little sticky on the nut, so I like to kind of loosen them off first to make sure everything is turning free. So it's a feeler gauge, so just feel it, feel the 10 thou and tighten your lock and nut up nice and easy, holding your screwdriver there. A little bit too loose, prefer to be a little bit too loose anyway. We can do all of them fine tuning kind of bits later on once you can still feel the 10 thou. Same with this, so loosen off the lock nut. I like to loosen it off a good bit because you want to make sure that's all turning nice and free. There you go, just whip it up there with the finger. Put on your 1/2 inch spanner. Put in your 12 thou for the exhaust, spin her home. You feel your 12. There she is, just biting there. Tighten up your lock nut then. Still feel it there, that's okay. If it's a little bit loose, you can let your screwdriver turn a little bit with the spanner and get another bit on it. That's perfect there. That's 12 thousandths. You can just hear it scratching there. Okay, so turn it over now, so we're on 2. So 1, pints opening. Okay, 12 thou, 10 thou. 3, pints opening. 4, pints opening, and then 2, pints opening. Seems a little bit tight. There's another quick feel of that. Ah no, it's okay. So there you go. So I suppose we can move. Well, actually, what we can do is test for a spark now that we can move our engine and close our pints and open them ourselves. That involves putting the battery in. But what I would prefer to do is fit the manifold, because I'm fairly sure we're going to have a spark. So we can turn on our other light here and put on. The lighting isn't the best over here, so we'll try and stick around there. I'll get all the bits and we'll get the gaskets on. Okay, so we cleaned all of that down before. I gave it another degrease in there now this evening. So these aren't great because there's a few studs missing on one side. But look, what can you do? We'll try and get all that lined up as we go along. So we'll just get our little box of nuts, studs. Spring washers, a good few of these need a bit of work if you remember back a little bit. So our manifold is nicely faced as well, so it should be fairly easy to do. Now, this could be an issue if we haven't loosened that. We'll have to loosen that to get the rocker, or maybe we mightn't. We'll see. Firstly, I want to get this gasket lined up, so we just have to stick one stud through the gasket, lift and push, and that should leave us about right. Okay. Right, there's another one in there now. Lovely, okay. So we'll get a few more of them in and we'll come back then and remove the camera. I made the mistake of leaving that off, so I have that fitted there. So throw in a few of these that we can get to. This can be a little bit awkward. The ratchet spanner doesn't often help either because they're too thick to get in and around them with the manifold in the way. So you just take your time and you screw it in. Without spanner the old fashioned way. Okay. Some of them then you can get to with a socket. 3/8 socket will work fine. I like to start them all by hand anyway. Coarse thread is usually handy enough. Okay. Starting to look like an engine again. The rest of them are taken nuts, so that is good. Right, feels like our gasket is lined up nicely. They're a lovely exhaust manifold. This one's a good make, some of them are cracked. This one isn't. Any more studs without nuts? Yeah, in there. And we've one nut left, so I don't know, I presume it's to go somewhere. Or just a spare one maybe that I thought we needed. We don't, but we do need it, yeah. I was thinking we do. And there we one. We are one spring washer short. So we'll sort that out. In there. That's the right one, is it? Should be. Yep. That's the beauty of collecting these spring washers up. It is one of these parts that is going to get hot. It needs to do its thing, and it needs to heat the head. So we have to make sure that gasket is sealed. We don't want extra air getting into that cylinder because it will affect the mixture. And it's going to be popping and spitting and farting. So amateur spring washers. This one's up. Maybe we'll get it with it. We'll get it with a socket. Maybe that's the way to go about it. There we go. Lovely stuff. We'll spin a few of these home. Won't be able to spin much of them home. Sounds like the drill, as I said, as usual, is doing a lot of work. It's not doing feck all. It's just, it's not even tightening the nut down on the washer. It's going to save me a bit of time ratcheting. Okay, the rest of them I think will have to be done. Right, socket. That's all right. We'll do that. Okay. Yeah, socket doesn't get on some of these, unfortunately, until it goes in a bit more. I think call it a casting. There we are, it's gripping it there. Okay, some of them then won't get a socket near them at all. Okay, these are things that you do need to check every now and again. Things heat up and stretch. Okay. Right, and the some of there will have to get in with a 1/4 inch, I'd say, or even maybe the 3/8 without extension might do it. Yeah. These are with the carbo. Okay, that's one done there. Sometimes the sockets then get a little bit stuck on. These are pulled out nuts. And I think there's one in there. I can feel it. Is it tight or not? We'll know now in a minute. That's okay. And that one's good. So we'll just go over one or two of them again. Make sure we're all good to go. There's a few in on it, like. Right. So that's good, that's good. That's good. That's good. This one here is going to need the good old spanner because you won't get anything on that. You might get a ratchet spanner on it, but you'd have to screw it in a bit before you'd even get it onto it. So we're just going to do it the good old fashioned way. It is a privilege working with these lovely nuts and bolts. Lovely metal in them, lovely threads on them. Managed to get a few UNC threads and dies there last weekend, so hopefully they'll make life a little bit easier there sometimes for us when we're doing a bit of work on these things. Just clean them up, no threads. And what I like about it when you clean up the threads, you get a proper feel for things tightening down. Okay, we're getting there. Starting to nip. These little bios stretch a little bit, so if you can at all, get a good nip on them. That lad in there needs to tighten up yet. There's always one. Oh, what the feck size nut is on that? Should be right. We'll go. And we'll just check in as well. Lovely. They're all the intake side. They're the bios you want to get sealing. They're the bios that can let the air leak in. Okay, so I think I usually forget to do one of them. I'm fairly happy with that now. We can throw on our carb now. Geez, we're getting to that point already, huh? So off with our nuts and washers. We can get our carb gasket. Our carbs are to get stripped. In a different video there, so I might move the camera there, been there for the same place for a while. Try and get a bit of change of scenery going on here. Drop it down a bit maybe, and just trying to keep it in the best light, that's all. I'm going to bring up the light on the camera a little bit. Now, we've got a nice new gasket. These Petro gaskets are lovely, they're lovely quality. Right, I don't really like the feel of the governor there myself, but look, I'm saying nothing. Yeah, I don't like that. It's very fluffy. I feel that's going to be. She's going to be hunting badly, I think. This needs to be adjustable. This one isn't. Now I do have one there in my own collection. I might try and fit it. This has to be, you know, able to be adjusted. So what happens is, when you push it into tick over, it pushes that lad down, keeps him back. And I like to adjust this, that it's about right, but it's way off. So I might just take a look through my parts to see. I might have a go at fitting a better one of them that we can adjust at least. I have a feeling that it's not going to go plain ball at all. So we haven't tightened up our gasket and compressed it. So yeah, I'm going to go do that and we'll just see. I think I have a better one there. Okay, we fitted a better one that actually adjusts here at the end. I kind of had forgot I had it, but I just didn't look through my parts properly. I got it in a job lot of parts from a Ferguson 20 TVO a couple of years ago, and like everything, it's thrown in a box or a drawer and you just forget you have it. At least we can adjust the free play out of all of this now, you know. Lovely. When we cleaned up all of these threads on the studs as well with the dye, and it's lovely that you're able to tighten these up with your fingers the whole way till it's nipping. Some of these can be awful tight and you think you're tightening your carb and all you're doing is you're tightening tight threads. So now what we can do with this is we can screw them in. We have the adjustment on it. That's the beauty of it. have the adjustment on the thick over as well, so we'll let that back completely out of the way and we'll screw this lad in. That's fairly well screwed in there. Maybe we don't need to go that far, but at least we have adjustment on it. I'm not sure exactly how much is going to have to go, but we will work it. I'll look up my own one there and see how many threads. I'll have a quick look at my own and see what are the threads. I think I have my torch here. I'll have a quick look. Should be the same. Jesus, can't see any threads there. Maybe the other one was okay, but it's not okay when it's not adjustable. That's the only thing I will say. So I wouldn't be happy with it not being adjustable. Okay. I suppose it's hard to know until you get the rest of the throttle linked on. Anyway, look, we can tighten up our carb there and have that much done. I have the fuel tank out there on the bench. I'm starting to take a look at it. Won't go crazy tight in this. I like to slowly nip them up because all you do is just bend the flange. Have a good gasket on it. Oh, that's all I'm going to do with that. Okay. And we have our just whatchamacallit, exhaust bracket there from my gold belly silencer, and gold belly silencer there. I think it's actually the original. It fits down well. We're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves really there with that now, but look, we have a bit more work to do on it yet before we go doing that. So I can go and pick out for now just a nut and a bolt for that little lad there. So we'll have a look and come back. So we'll just fit that on there and put a little sleeve in around the actual governor there as well, because the governor rod, because it's just a little bit worn. So that'll just take up a bit of free play there. I usually end up having to do that anyway with them. We'll go to the other side here, maybe get a bit more light onto things. Okay. And we'll just try this rocker cover for a fit there, see if that pipe is in the way. I might have to get it at 11/16 at that. Loosen it. They're all a little bit bent. So I might just fit that into the rocker cover itself first. Some people glue these into the rocker cover. See why they do it. My glue is just dried up on this, so maybe we'll put it on the head actually, and just keep an eye on things as it's tightening down. I swear as well some of these shrink when they're in storage. Okay, I think almost that way there. Taller sides to the front. having issues there with those head bolts getting in the way, head nuts getting in the way. I think I had to do a bit of filing on my own one actually. I think it is that way there for the pipe. It's like some of them head nuts where they're just, that edge there is just catching it a little bit. Let's get a look at that there, it's a little bit off. I might have to buy some glue and glue it into the rocker cover, have it nice and straight. I think that might be the way forward if we can't shape it a little bit better. It's a little bit awkward. So another quick go at it. Try and get it down low. I do remember having to do something with the rocker cover on my own one. Just a little bit of a touch of a file, I think. It might be okay there. We'll know when we tighten it up anyway. This pipe isn't in the way. In fact, it needs to be bent a little bit, so that can be fairly awkward to do. So I can, without putting kinks in them. But sure, look, we'll try anyway. So we'll give them a little nip and see how things feel. The reason why I'm fitting it is I need to block that pipe because that's going straight to the air intake. So if that is drawing air, you're going to have issues. I have tried starting it off before and I can tell you it is not happy. Because the mixture is getting way too much air. So you need to richen it up. Yes, you could put a bag around it or something like that, but I'd be frightened of it sucking it down into the pipe. Okay. Sealing washers. There's one there anyway, I might need another one. Or did I put another one on it? We'll find out now. Yeah, I have 2 new ones on that. So, it's a little bit off. We'll need to give that a little tap. I might loosen it first and give it a tap. So I'll get my level 16 there and come back and just get a plastic hammer. So we'll loosen this lad off down here. I think I loosened him here before. I think I did. Yeah. There you go. And we can tap them inwards, I think, a little bit to get a little bit more length in them. Okay. Straighten a bit. There we go. Take off the sealing washer. That has got itself tightened up a bit. Try them off, at least a good sign is good tight fit. Okay. Yeah, new sealing washers both sides. Now, that should screw home. We'll keep a bit of pressure on it towards the far side as we're tightening it. Keep everything lined up. Oh, the bigger one, 7/8. Now, let them back a bit. Keep them centralised. Sometimes you tighten it, it'll move as well. Okay, that should do it. There we go. So we're making headway. Okay, we got our manifold on, we got our carb on, we got all of that there, and the rocker cover done, nipped down, throttle rod hitched up. Don't have anything else coming down here, so to rev it we will have to go pulling that up like that. So we'll probably have to come up with something maybe just to keep a bit of pressure on that. Yeah, I'm thinking here I might be able to do something with that. Yeah, so good. We're able to put a battery in, we're able to check for sparks. Next thing, spark plugs can go in. It's handy having them out for doing all of the valve clearance. Got a bit of a leak there, I see, coming down from the PTO selector lever here, I'd say. Yeah, simple little job that, did it on my own. So cool, I think that's where I'm going to leave it tonight, and we'll pick up from here tomorrow.